Thank you. Thank you all of you for coming. When we started this idea, actually, to make this documentary, the background of this story is the war in 1999 in Yugoslavia. During the NATO campaign, the famous and visible stealth fighter was shot down in Serbia, and that was the world-breaking news. And the pilot survived after 8 hours hiding in the ditch. And 12 years later, he decided, and also the guy who shot him down decided to meet each other. And the pilot came to Serbia to meet the guy who shot him down. And then both families came to US to make a long-term friendship. So when we started the whole story, actually it was almost 7 years ago, that was for many people mission impossible. Nobody believed that this whole story will actually happen. So I pitched this story in London to the commissioning editors from Discovery just before the starting shootings, asking for some help in funding. And I had both letters of the soldiers who had never met before, but they described that they want to pass the whole journey. And the people from the Discovery told me that could be really good documentary, but it will never happen. So I decided together with the two families, with my families, with their families, to pass the whole journey and to make this story. So somehow for us, for documentaries, ideas came to us and the stories came to us, and we have to be open and broadcast open frequency to the borderless open space, and this story will happen. So I would like to invite you tomorrow morning to come to masterclass in the 9. So I will be there, and we will have 2 hours to speak more about the documentary.
So Željko, we are here in Gorica, and you're probably aware that this is, of course, a border town with an incredible history, connected also, of course, to numerous wars and conflicts and so on, especially the First World War. And I just wanted to, since you have a very specific approach of dealing with documentary filmmaking, where you really make films about people and they're sort of coming together in a kind of a fusion, together with their stories and memories and everything that makes them human. The question is really, how did you come to this medium, and why, why this topic is so intriguing for you in the first place?
First of all, thank you for inviting me here and giving me the opportunity to meet such a wonderful place as Gorica and Nova Gorica are. So the idea, as usually ideas came when I working on one project. I finished the documentary about the Zoltan Dani and his transition from military to civil life, and somehow I got in position to make contact with the pilot and offer him maybe to explore possibilities to meet the guy who shot him down. So that was a unique opportunity for him, and also for the Zoltan, the guy from the other side, to send some, to get second chance, for example, and use this chance to send a completely different message than was 12 years ago during the war. So both of them recognized how the new role could be important and how they are ready to use them on the best way. So that was the starting point for the story, and the production, the storytelling and everything has a lot of challenges, but we believed, or our three families, Zoltan's, Dale's and mine, believe in the same values, that is strong connections, and that keep us together during the war challenges. And finally we succeeded to send this kind of peace message, which lives now in the boundless space in clouds, and all people from various places who are sharing the same problems or who are faced in the history with the similar things can recognize that. And unfortunately, the whole planet Earth is full of these kind of problems with understanding.
Yeah, what I find really compelling about the movie is basically that it functions, it transmits a message of reconciliation, of people who are actually personally not at all in conflict, right? Even in their previous sort of settings, their conflict was never personal, but it was geopolitical in many dimensions. So do you think that, do you feel actually, not think, because I believe you think, and the film shows it, but do you think that documentary filmmaking has a potential role, and from your experience it does, so it's a very hopeful situation, and that's why I postulated before that it's in a way a very bold and brave move to do a documentary with an extremely positive, reconciliatory message, almost therapeutic in a way. It has all these dimensions, and I think there is a lot to learn from that kind of filmmaking experience, where you basically let the subjects tell their story, which came through serendipity, which is also nice, right? I mean, and again, not a serendipity that is coincidental. I didn't even know this moment of the arrest of General Mladic in Vojvodina, of all places, right? And then the movie sort of the meeting has to be postponed for a year, so you change and decide, okay, I'll give them cameras for this year. We have new time that we bought, and the subjects are then telling their story, and you have to sort of deal with it. You don't know what you will get from this box, and I found that really a risky move, but it was in the end very rewarding. So what can you tell me about the methodology, because you clearly do have a methodology which is one of openness in a way to challenges and changes.
Yes. For example, I wanted to make a personal stories. You thought, yes, there are countries who are in some geopolitical problems. There were soldiers. Their jobs was to serve their countries, so they did their jobs. So that wasn't their problems. Probably if you are in different industries, you will be your job in this kind of industries. Maybe this industry will have some, conflicts in various fields. War is completely different, but you can find similarities. So they did their job, but they were not in a personal conflict. And also, which is important, they have similar, almost the same personal values. For them, the family, they recognize the family as their vivid escape. And for them, the family is the main goal, and the base of the family is peace. You cannot build the families without peace. So when I decided to give them cameras to follow their lives, that was because I wanted to get more personality from their lives. And we could get nothing, or we got a lot. This is some kind of intuition. You have to decide, sometimes tough decisions. That is the charm of documentary. And another charm of documentary is also how, when you have a finished project, how you can send message, and how you can build dialogues. You know, the documentary could be great base for the students, for the Warriors organization to start dialogues. We started dialogues with this documentary on impossible places, in U.S. Congress, in UN, in Warriors peace institutions in the U.S., in Balkans, in Germany. So a lot of possibilities is documentary can get from topics, and if you want to make this story openly, from open mind and open heart, that could be probably some challenges, but at the end that could bring a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah, this is what is really, you know, there is of course a classical candid camera moment of the people filming themselves, doing the video diaries, and it's a medium that almost everybody can recognize.
Yes.
Everybody has done this at one point or the other, especially if you have a family, right, and children.
Yes.
That sort of, you always feel you did not film the right things because you lost them and so on. But I feel that it's really crucial when you have a situation of filmmaking, you know, of really complex stories. We are talking about sort of historical complexities, and this particular case is one of them. You are not discussing how it came to the fact that these two people met for the first time, right? That is sort of assumed that it's a basic knowledge of the viewer. Let's put it so. On the other hand, that's really, really important, because if you assume that, then you have almost an incredible freedom opens up to explore sort of the human dimension of any kind of I will call it complex intercultural dialogue, or something on this level, even though maybe these are heavy words for really what is striking about this essay, that your documentary is sort of the human aspect, and for me personally also maybe also in conjunction with the other two films that we saw in front of it yesterday, is the role of women, of course, in these kind of situations. And there's this gender moment that appears almost spectrally everywhere. I mean, in the war in Syria, very, very clearly, almost plastically so. And in this documentary also, it's in your face. It's very clear that the even more complex story is the story of the women behind, so-called behind, but really strongly pulling everything together with this man. So it's maybe an avenue of exploration almost that needs to be, taken more seriously and look at that aspect. And I think where we are today, maybe that's one of the things that should be sort of looked at also, right? Because this, of course, places here, the conflicts are long forgotten, not reflected, and so on. But there's a kind of a stasis in the air, and documentary can be a powerful force in breaking that stasis and starting the processes of reflection. So I think you did that brilliantly, not only with this film but also with Travel Through Yugoslavia and so on. There's many dimensions like that.
Yes, I think that we have to, when we see the importance of documentary, we can watch it on several layers. So the first, it's basic layer to understand how the role of the family, especially wife and woman, is important. You have 3 children, and you know that the stability of the family is on her side. You know, you can work and do a lot of things, but if you have instability in your family, you cannot achieve anything. You know, it's a big push for each life. People have this kind of stability, especially if you are in a conditions which is, for example, in wars or whatever. So without this kind of belief, you cannot fully understand yourself. That's one way. And the second layer for documentaries often is understand communities and cultures around you. So if we understand better each other, I can't imagine a situation that we can be in conflict if we understand each other. We can discuss, we can make dialogue, we can, try another solution, not mine, not yours. We can find someone else. We will start dialogue. So documentaries could be great platform for dialogue, personal and global. So I think that we can use it as a tool. For example, we can enjoy also them, share emotions, and be informed, but also I think that they should be more used as a tool to start dialogue, to start maybe voice installation platforms, interactive platforms to connect globally people, the way how we are making documentary, for example, this one is made on that way. Okay, we have archetypes. We can recognize this moment, shooting camera, video diaries, and that could be recognized in every country. So that would be connection point. Let's now start dialogue about how we can build something from
it. Yeah, connection points are crucial.
Yes.
Okay. I think this is perfect. Documentaries as perfect tools for dialogue, and I think that it's even though there's a lot of films in this genre, it's an open field, and there's a lot work to do. Almost the beauty of the documentary is that it needs an idea, but then it needs a lot of hard work and action behind that idea to bring sort of the story forward and to have the openness and freedom to sort of move in this field that you have created. Sometimes even
and also in your job, any art could be a tool for dialogue. This is just a final product, but behind that is a lot of influence.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that final product could be tool for dialogue. Let's talk about this. Each product has its own story. Let's discover stories. Let's share the stories. Let's share the culture. Let's share. That's for me. That's important for the future world. To make dialogues, we can use arts as a tool. Documentaries are one of them, but there is a lot of possibilities to use various art tools.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.